All right, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, June 5th, 2023, and our topic this morning is organizing the week for success. In this business, as you all know, the objective, and we heard Chris Howard talk about this, those of you who are logged in, about having a GPS. And when he said that, it made perfect sense to me because it kind of already touched on what I wanted to touch on. And that is specifically, if you are going to succeed here, you need to have a formula for success. The challenge is most of us do not have the ability, or maybe the desire, if we're to call it that, to implement that formula. We all have the formula. We all know what we need to do, but we don't implement it because somehow at the back of our minds, we think it's all going to take care of itself. The truth is, it isn't. You have to do the work for your results to come to you. You can't expect results. It's like going to a lamp or a wooden stove and saying, give me heat, but I'm not going to give you any wood. So you have to, or going to a house, turning on the lamp and saying, give me light, but you're not supplying electricity. It doesn't work that way. So you have to supply the raw materials to get the results you want. So now Chris Howard spoke, and I think his formula is very, very much in line with what we've spoken about forever. And what we've spoken about forever is literally breaking your day into smaller units so that you can have the results you want. Now, he spoke about 9 to 12 prospecting. And I mean, for us, we do a mastermind meeting at 10:30. So I wouldn't say prospect from 9 to 12, but I will say, and I've said this before, you should start your day at 8 a.m. You should start your day at 8 a.m. Ideally, after you start your day at 8 a.m., the first thing you need to do is, well, you don't need to do that anymore because now we have software that confirms your appointments for you. Once upon a time, we had to manually confirm appointments. Now we have software that does that for us. So the first thing you want to do is head to the office. The reason you want to come to the physical office if you're in New York is because you have a destination you can prospect as you head to. If you live somewhere else, if you live outside New York, leave your house. When I was in Indianapolis, Indiana, in the morning, I would leave home at 7:30. Actually, I lied. I would leave home at 6:30, I think, 6:30, head to the gym, work out for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and then by 8 a.m., I will be at the office. I'll get into the office, I'll check in, mentally connect. Whether my RVP was there or not was not important to me. I'll mentally collect, put my bag down, put my things down. Then I will leave the office and go prospect. In Indiana, it was a very different animal. It's not like you have people on the streets. So I'll have to go to the mall or go to a strip mall, generally speaking, because over there you find people. And if you go to a strip mall, you literally come into one store, out of the other, and I promise you, I kid you not, I have been walked out of malls where they'll come up to me and say, sir, you are trespassing, you are harassing our staff, you're harassing our clients. We need you to leave. And I'll be like, okay. I wasn't harassing them, but I was prospecting. And the interesting, the funny, well, it's not funny and it's not interesting. In hindsight, it's funny and interesting. I was at a GameStop and I was prospecting. And next thing I know, a police officer comes into the store, sir. What's going on? Why are you here talking to the, whatever. And then he said, well, the reason, and then I said, no, I'm just here browsing and just talking to the person. He's like, you're asking suspicious questions, like how long has he worked here? Wow, does he like what he does? I'm like, no, I told him what I do. And the guy said that GameStop had been robbed the night before. So I was just a suspicious person. But anyway, the point I'm making is you head to the office and you prospect on your way. Because we live in New York, you are able to talk to a number of people that is literally unlimited. If you want to talk to 20 people, you can talk to 20 people. If you want to talk to 40 people, you can talk to 40 people. But my philosophy is every time at every stop, come out of the car, the train car, and go to the next car and talk to someone else. In New York City, those of us in New York, we see people doing it, people who are panhandling, we see people who are selling things, we see people who are raising money for God knows what. They do it. So you can do the same thing too. You get to the office, you should be at the office by 9. You should be at the office by 9. You've already prospected, you've already gotten your 10 people. If you do things properly, you get to the office by 9. And what do? You start setting appointments. You start setting appointments. We have the tools we need to do everything with those appointments because now, guys, we have Zoom. We have our videos, we have everything. So you start setting appointments. By 10:30, you break from setting appointments. You jump into the M3, feed your mind, stretch your thinking. And then by 11, you set appointments again. And you keep on going till at least 12. Now, why is it, guys? Please understand something. When I keep on talking of M3s, the reason you want to be on M3s is because you need to learn the language of success. I speak the language of success to you every morning at 10:30. Every morning. Because my goal, we're business partners. I'm not your employer, you're not my employees. We're business partners and we're all building businesses under the same umbrella, for lack of a better term. But if you don't understand the language of success, we can't build the same business because you're not on the same page. The reason I plug into everything, I'm fanatical about plugging into everything, is because I want to learn the language of success. I think I'm fluent in the language of success. I think I can speak the language of success, and I have with everybody from regular people to people who are literally heads of state. I've done that. I'm not a stranger to that. But the point is, I still know I can do much better. I know I can still do much better. Why? Because I need to reemphasize it. I need to what's the word I'm looking for? Strengthen it. I need to can't even think of the word. But the point is, I still plug in. I read every morning. I plug into all the trainings I can because I still want to get better. So you want to do the same thing. So 10:30 has to be non-negotiable so you can learn the language. 12 onwards, 12 to 6:30, you should have a mix of setting appointments or being on appointments. Where should you be on those appointments? You should be on those appointments within the hierarchy Zoom. Why do you want to be within the hierarchy Zoom? Because that's where the ecosystem is. If you bring people in, you might not be able to speak their language to break the ice. You might not be able to speak their language to break the ice. You might be able to speak the language of closing them, but you might not be able to speak the language of breaking the ice. So it might be like, hey, Mariama, can you talk to my lady? She is an engineer, or she's a mother, or she is, she owned her own business. Could be any of those things. Or, hey, coach, can you talk to this guy? He is, whatever. Or, hey, Bo, whatever. Mariama shows up. Hey, this is Coach Mariama. She's one of our, she's the first RVP we promoted. Amazing woman, used to own a business, blah, 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 blah. Mariama speaks to them for 2 minutes, breaking the ice. Now the person's like, oh, wow, there's credibility. Could be Agbor, could be anybody. But the point is, when you bring people into the ecosystem here, you have access to people who can help you build your business. And you being logged on also helps you be an asset to the rest of the team, because there are people that you might want them that you might to speak to, or we might want them to speak to you. So from, like I said, from 12 to 6:30, you focus on being on appointment, setting appointments. 6:30, you plug into the next M3. Well, actually, as I said earlier, the M4, Mamba Mastermind Mastery Meeting, or Mamba's Mastermind Mastery Meeting. So you plug your people in there. That goes 6:30 to 7. 7 p.m., you now continue. Again, setting appointments, being on appointments, but also at that point, if you are focused on the East Coast, people are home, which means you can now do what? Training appointments. Training appointments will still be in the evening because a lot of people are now back in the physical, office space, so which means they don't get home till late. They are able to be on the call with both decision makers present. So now, so like I said earlier, you start your day at 8. You head out to the office. You prospect, to talk to people, you get your names and numbers. You get to the office. Once you get to the office, what happens? You start setting appointments, ideally till 10:30. At 10:30, you jump into the Zoom, into the M3. At 11, you jump back on setting appointments till 12. 12, you start setting appointments and being on appointments. 6:30, you jump into the M4, and at 7, you start doing your KTs. You do that every day. Saturday, we have training, obviously, but you still want to show up to the physical space, prospect people on your way. Guys, because again, once you, and again, ultimately, your goal is gauge yourself. Your goal should be to have one cycle of 8531 every week at the barest minimum. Even if you don't do anything else, your goal is to have one cycle of 8531 every single week. Why? Because you are here to build a duplicable business. When you're able to do one cycle of 8531 every week, what happens is your teammates will see you doing it and they will do it too. When they do it too, you now have an organization full of people who are able to do the basics. All right, so I'm going to close with this, and Agbo can explain this to us because I don't know what the heck is going on, but I thought it was very funny. Let me share this with everybody.